All right, first up, hold on.
All right, fix my insomnia, Bodie.
Yeah, can medieval sleeping habits fix America's insomnia? The his
Probably not.
the history of first sleep and second sleep holds a surprising lessons about pre-industrial life, 21st century anxiety, and the problem with digging for utopia in the past.
You know it does fix insomnia?
Sleep,
Somas.
somas, yeah, yeah, and yeah, yeah.
They'll put you to sleep.
What are they?
They're sleeping pills.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was some kind of play on words or like an actual
No,
thing.
Soma, they're a sleeping pill.
Oh,
They work really well.
oh, I should try that.
They're up there with trazodones.
Oh,
But trazodones were never they never worked for me.
no, they don't really do much, and then they make you feel funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. About the author, Derek Thompson. He's a staff writer at The Atlantic and the author of the Work in Progress newsletter. He's also the author of Hitmakers and The Lost Host. The host of the podcast Plain English. Oh, well, good for you, bud.
We're off to a fantastic start this evening.
This is gonna be awful. I've been discombobulated all day, so this show's gonna go fucking
I was like that Thursday and Friday. I know how you feel.
ugh. Okay, so let's read this in the perspective of the author. All right, this is a guy that writes fucking bullshit day in day out, whether he fucking wants to or not. Like he's turned his hobby and his passion into a grinding gruel of fucking making money to survive. This is an artist that is just tortured, and he chose to write about this probably because it relates to him, and he wishes he
Yep.
could sleep twice a day.
Oh yeah, I would love to go. Well, I can sometimes I do sleep twice a day.
What's up, Grammy?
How you doing, Grimmy? All
Yeah.
right. So read from the mindset of Derek.
At 3 a.m., I'm jolted awake. The room is dark and still. I grab my phone and scan sports scores and Twitter. Still awake. A faceless physician whispers in my mind, "To overcome middle of the night insomnia, experts say you ought to get out of bed." That's what ellipses mean now as a burp. I get out of bed. I pour a glass of water and drink it. I go back to bed. Still awake. Perhaps you know the feeling. Like millions of Americans and hundreds of millions of people around the world, I suffer from so-called mid-sleep awakenings that can keep me up for hours. And then one day I was researching my nocturnal issues when I discovered a cottage industry of writers and sleep hackers who claim that sleep is a nightmare because of the Industrial Revolution of all things. Essays in The Guardian, CNN, New York Times, and the New York Times Magazine, other publications far bigger than mine, recommended an old fix for restlessness called segmented sleep. In pre-modern Europe and perhaps centuries earlier, people routinely went to sleep around nightfall, woke up around midnight, only to go back to sleep a few hours later until the morning. They slept sort of like
I
I
would
do.
totally do that.
Yeah, but they were zen about it. Then the hackers claim modernity came along and ruined everything by pressuring everybody to sleep in one big chunk. Yeah, that's fucking wild. The romanticization of pre-industrial sleep fascinated me. It also snapped into a popular template of contemporary internet analysis. If you experience a moment's unpleasantness, first blame modern capitalism. You're not wrong.
Well, they are to blame for everything.
Yeah. So I reached out to Roger Eckerk, the historian whose work broke open the field of segmented sleep more than 20 years ago. In the 1980s, when people did cocaine to not sleep, Elkridge was researching a book about nighttime before the Industrial Revolution. One day in London, wading through public records, he stumbled on references to first sleep and second sleep in a crime report from the 1600s. He had never seen these phrases before. When he broadened his search, he found mention of first sleep in Italian, primo sonno, French, premier somni, somi, yeah, and even Latin, primo somno. He found documentation in Africa, the Middle East, South Asia, and Latin America. When sleep was divided into a 2-act play, people were creative with how they spent their intermission. They didn't have anxious conversations with imaginary doctors. They actually did something. During the Dorve, or wake sleep, people got up to pee, hung out by the fire, had sex, or prayed. I'll take all those except the last one.
I can throw a 2-hour stream in there instead of praying.
Yeah, or just meditate or something. They reflected on their dreams and commingled with the spiritual realm, both the divine and the diabolical. In the 1540s, Martin Luther wrote of his strategies to ward off the devil. Almost every night I wake up, I instantly chase him away with a fart. Wow.
Anna, is that how you chase the devil out of your room?
Yeah, you just fucking rip ass. Fucking devil doesn't even want it. She's just like,
Ugh,
oh, I prefer
I dare you to come
sulfur.
in here.
Today's sleep writers often wield Eckert's research to suggest that segmented sleep, or as Eckert calls it, biphasic, two-phase sleep, is old and one sleep is new, and therefore today's sleepers are doing it wrong. But that's not the full story. He told me.
Of course, we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, a little ridiculous. What do you say, Ghost? I tend to wake up at strange hours, grab a drink, and fall back asleep. Yeah, I'd do the same thing.
That's what ghosts do, though.
That is what ghosts do. Yeah, it's a witching hour. Gremmy's got it. You're a witch. You're a witch ghost. Pre-industrial sleep was nothing to romanticize. Death stalked our slumber for centuries. Late-night crime was rampant, and the home itself was a death trap. A slapdash construction left houses vulnerable to fire, leaking roofs, terrible heat or cold. What Eckert calls it, the trifecta of modern entomology. Fleas, lice, and bedbugs. Wonderful. That hasn't changed for my city. As for the romantic French Dorvée, it was functionally a second workday for many women who rose at midnight to finish domestic chores. And ancient soporifics, such as poisonous
Damn.
leaves and various opiate concoctions, were roughly as likely to kill you as they were to induce REM.
Think about that. Women had to clean all day, then get up in the middle of the night and finish cleaning.
I mean, they're the ones that are picky about being clean. Whatever. I don't fucking care. Beginning in the 1700s, the Industrial Revolution, its light, its caffeine, its clocks, and above all, its work schedules took Europe's biphasic sleep in its hairy arms and mushed the two phases together. A surging economy made a virtue of productivity instilled an increasing sense of time consciousness in the West, Eckert told me. By the mid-1800s, early rising movements had taken off in England and America. New artificial lights delayed bedtimes, while new factory schedules required early waking. The lit world altered our internal clocks too. Every time we turn on a light, we are inadvertently taking a drug that affects how we will sleep. Charles Scheisler, I don't know how to say that. Sizzler? I don't know. A Harvard sleep scientist. Sizzler? We'll call him the Sizzler. Chuck Sizzler. When a 1990 study at the National Institute of Mental Health deprived a cohort of male subjects of light and night, their sleep became segmented after a few weeks.
Really?
This makes it sound like segmented sleep is humanity's natural habit and that the Industrial Revolution and modern capitalism despoiled our perfect rest. But humans have never had a universal method of slumber. A 2015 study of hunter-gatherers societies in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia found that most foragers enjoyed one long sleep. 2 years later, another study found that a rural society in Madagascar practiced segmented sleep. 2 years after that, a study found that the indigenous residents of Tana in the South Pacific largely had one interrupted sleep. Even with pre-industrial Europe, sleep contained multitudes. Reviewing the diaries of European writers such as Samuel Pepys, and James Boswell, Eckert found several allusions to unified sleep. Summarizing this complicated literature, he told me that patterns of sleep in non-Western cultures appear to have been much more diverse than those in Europe, but that they were truly diverse everywhere. There's no evidence that sleep was universally segmented, and there's also little evidence segmented sleep is better. Meta-analysis of studies of biphasic sleep schedules found that segmented sleep subjects actually reported lower sleep quality and spent more time in lighter stages of sleep. One reasonable takeaway is that biphasic sleep is like an anarchical foraging. Heyo! Thank you for the sub.
Say squared.
Oh yeah.
She'll appreciate this. Apparently, we've been sleeping wrong since capitalism took over.
Yeah, we sleep twice. Most people sleep twice, which is fine.
Yeah, like we should be like hobbits. They have first breakfast and second breakfast. We should have first sleep and second sleep.
Yeah. So basically, this let's just cut to the chase here. This is fucking going on forever. The upshot of sleep's pre-industrial and post-industrial history is a simple, short, consistent message. Sleep is adaptable, but it improves with routine. Different tricks work for different tribes, but in the end, we are a diverse species united by a common circadian rhythm that craves consistency. Sleep is very flexible when you look cross-culturally. Your body really does like routine. Find what works for you and keep that routine going.
I
That's
could disagree with that. I think your body may like it, but there are times where if I get too much into a routine, my mind goes nuts
yeah, that's
because
true.
it doesn't have enough I mean, I just can't. But I mean, as far as my sleep goes, I don't know. There are times I feel like I need a good 8 hours of sleep. There are times I can get 4 or 5 and be ready to roll.
Yeah, it all depends, I guess. It depends on the quality of the sleep you get when you get it.
Yeah. Because I mean, we're told now that we have to go into REM sleep. If you don't go into REM sleep, it's not considered good sleep. Your body doesn't get a chance to rest.
No, and it
Well,
fucks up your long-term memory and everything.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so rather than see the legacy of pre-modern rest as an operating manual, I see it as balm. My 3 a.m. awakenings aren't an unnatural disorder, but an ancestral echo. Maybe that's something to tell myself in the middle of the night instead of fighting the sleep doctor in my head. It'll be all right. We've been here before.
CA squared. So when you wake up at 3 a.m. and then you're awake till 5:30, it's okay.
Yeah, you're supposed to
Just
clean the house and go back to bed.
yeah, get up, make Tog some pancakes, and then go back to bed.
Making bacon
I'm joking.
pancakes.
I'm joking. Please do not come in here and smack me.
You're gonna get smacked.
I'm probably about to get smacked.